right back into it here. I'm being cursed. All my cables are tangling. I don't have like the energy. Like first the cables get tangled, then you don't have the energy to untangle them. That's how the curse works. So first they curse you for everything to fall on the ground in your housing space, and then they curse you not to be able to pick it up, or you die trying. That's great. I got that. Brand new tire and wheel. That's what she should do on the other side. As a front, so that's good. So what happens is when I connect to I don't connect to women. Like God will connect me to a woman, and then He'll show me something about what that relationship would be if it would ever happen. And some women, it's just in passing. It's not like that I'm even friends with the woman, but God can open up the future as it would, because God knows how people would interact with one another. So again, when you're not equally yoked, that's a curse. That's Satan. God would not bring that marriage. Now, the reality is that sometimes God uses that type of marriage just to get people somewhere. But God could just make it happen. So I connected to somebody, and it's just very discouraging because the idea is I could have married somebody before I left the Marshal Service, but the government was part of what was blocking the relationship. Now they'll play like, oh, he could have killed anybody, he could have raped anybody, but it's all bullshit. Like I said, there was a Korean woman, and generally Korean women, when they're and again, it's not like a hey, you're gonna marry me for citizenship. Da, 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 da. That is a concern. It's a concern for me to find a woman. Obviously, I needed a woman, and obviously you blocked it. But the reality is, I'm sure her and I would have been fine. There's a large responsibility of how bad it got. But again, when I say government, I also mean the private sector people that work with them. Again, they're protecting criminals in the private sector, whether it be lawyers, doctors, or anything else. It doesn't matter. They're still criminals when they're engaged in criminal enterprise. So I connect this woman. It just would have been so wonderful. And I'm just like, it's hard, but God does that for a specific reason. It's difficult to deal with all of that, knowing that I'm alone. But God says, look, let me show you something. And God said, I could never, ever introduce you to that woman like real because they would come along and steal it away. But that's what would happen if they weren't allowed to be devils. I mean, with government force, with government money, with government citizenship capability. I mean, they're disgusting clowns. They sold the nation for their own gain. I'm waiting to see that new VW. I probably can't afford it. That's what would make me get into an electric vehicle. The VW Bug, not Bug, the VW Bus or whatever it's called. Right. That'd be my thing. I mean, I love a van. It just wasn't the one I wanted to buy. I wanted the next model up. Right. I didn't know that that was a model up. My gosh. Well, because I came across somebody that would be real, that could be real for me, sans everything that's going on. My gosh. Sans Satan's intervention of government, private investigator, criminal enterprise. Actually, let me go this way. It's probably better go this way. Thank you, Larry. So again, metaphysics are also part of it. So this is where sometimes stalkers come from, but it's still a spell that does it. And of course, the government is also moving psychological warfare along with those private investigators, and they're all criminal spycraft operators. So moving all that to call stalking, but that's where stalking comes from, because the man or the woman experiences the real relationship, and the other person's blocked from it. Otherwise, they would do the same thing. They'd want to be with that person. So anytime you have a stalker, they've been cursed to that. But there could be physical intervention also. Thank you. It's how two people fall in love and then there's nothing that can ever split them apart, that type of thing. That's what it is. But the other person doesn't have it because Satan blocks the other person. Thank you. That's what happened to that astronaut. Remember that astronaut woman? Now, who cursed her? I couldn't tell you. Thank you. Well, but see, it's a lot to control from that. Again, going that far is crazy, but it's hard to block love at that level. 100%. Like when you experience it. But it's a devil and a demon that causes it. Thank you much. And of course, Satan himself is powering all that in an anti-power way. No, it's still Spanish women. For some reason, again, when I was a kid, I was around a lot of Spanish people, and maybe I have the most credit in Spanish society. I don't know. Because again, that's part of it. What are they part of? Again, I was never officially in the government in a metaphysical kind of receiving way. Oh, they got plenty from me. Well, what's the road coming up there? The concrete? What the hell is that? What, you have a tremor here today? All right, stay peaceful. Praise God, knowledge to you.